All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show this evening. We are bringing you the Division B East semifinals between the number 5 Heroes of the United States and the number 8 The One Tricks. Joining me this evening for the first time ever on twitch.tv/murderrg, it is CatPeach. What's going on?
Not too much, Murda. I'm glad we finally... It's been weeks we've been trying to coordinate a cast together, and I'm really kind of happy that we came together in the semifinals, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making, and getting to do it here in the semifinals, pretty big match. So I'm super stoked to see what these teams have for us this evening. I did get to talk to both of the captains. They gave me a quick little pre-game thought, so I'm gonna jump over to my thoughts on the previous matchup. These guys met in week 4. It was a draw, played pretty evenly. Heroes of the United States finished out the regular season with 3 wins, 7 draws, and 1 loss. The One Tricks, 3 wins, 4 draws, and 4 losses. Talk to Blaze first. He says, in the words of Dale Earnhardt, you win some, lose some, and wreck some. And then he said, playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? We just hope to win a game. Then I had the opportunity to talk to Key from the One Tricks. He says, even though we pulled an upset last week against the number 1 seed, we don't want to lose focus, and we are just trying to focus one game at a time. We had a pretty even series when we faced Heroes of the United States earlier this season, so it will be another closely matched series tonight. It will likely come down to who makes the better adjustments on the fly to win these games. I think for overall, pretty fair statements from both of them. Blaze, a little bit of meme saying, you want to talk about playoffs, they're just trying to win a game. But Key bringing back, saying that they know they had the huge upset last week. It was a huge victory for them, and this week on paper might be an easier match, but they don't want to take it too lightly, CatPeach.
Yeah, I mean, the match previously that the One Tricks had faced, again, was an upset against, I believe, Uncomfortably Numb. And so, on paper, statistically, you can look at a team and say they're definitely going to get ahead of this opponent, but in the game time, there are other factors, right? There are those on-the-fly adjustments. There are being able to study up on your opponent, and there's simply just game day nerves. So it's really anyone's game, and given that these two were so close together during the regular season, I'm really excited to see what both of them pull out tonight.
Absolutely, and I'm not going to make anyone wait any longer. These teams are ready to go. Draft number 1, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let me talk about what happened during the map selection process. Of course, Heroes of the United States coming in as the higher seed. They had option for first pick or map pick. They decided map pick. They banned away Sky Temple first, followed by a One Tricks ban on Braxis. Here's that first map pick by Hodis, as I'll call them this evening. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen. And first pick and first ban in this map will be for the One Tricks. They ban away the Tracer.
Not often a first ban hero that we see, but Tracer's annoyance on this field, her sheer mobility, always something that certain teams just simply don't want to deal with, so I can respect it. Stukov, a bit more of an expected ban coming out.
I'm wondering if the Tracer ban's more of a scouting thing. Did they find out that Heroes of the United States wants to play that sneaky little Tracer? I don't think, like you mentioned, she's not really that great on this map. I mean, she can get around and get kills, but she can really do the same thing anywhere. Kael'thas picked up first here by the One Tricks. But I'm thinking maybe it's more of just a scouting thing here.
Yeah, or if you have the guts to first pick Kael'thas in the semifinals, then perhaps that's a hero that the One Tricks simply aren't comfortable running against their Kael'thas. So less targeted toward Heroes of the United States and more making their Kael'thas player comfortable in this match. So it could go either way.
A little bit of a combo mage from Kael'thas, plenty of wave clear. First pick status though, not too frequent. He does have, I think, a decent kit for this map though. A Nubarak and Malfurion, and we're gonna take a quick little chat about Anubarak, because yesterday Anubarak lost his base spell armor, but now gets it in the form of his W every time he activates it, so plays a bit different. I think they gave him a bit more HP as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I forget percentage-wise. I think it's around a 5% health increase, and I was talking about this with some folks last night, and it does change a little bit how you have to approach playing in Uberak, and I'm hoping that Here's the United States have at least within, because it's been like what, 24 hours maybe since that patch went live, maybe a little bit more. So hoping that they have the time to really practice with this slightly modified Uberak. It's not like total talent change, but it is still something you have to consider. So I'm surprised that they're going to pull it out this early.
Yeah, a very quick turnaround on getting that patch out and putting it into an NGS match. But on the other side, we're now seeing Varian and Maiev, and Varian, of course, super deadly, but Maiev might be even more deadly without Warden's Cage, able to pull heroes in and comboed with something like a Varian or a Kael'thas having the Phoenix down inside that Warden's Cage. There's a lot of damage potential here that they can combo with Maiev. I think it's a great pick for the One Tricks.
It's interesting because going back to that same patch with the Nubarak, you know, the massive armor changes, right? Varian's passive armor also removed. Maiev also received a couple more nerfs. And so these hero picks right now are hard to hypothesize what they might be thinking, given that this is almost like really greenfield for both of us tonight. I'm surprised that the Maiev got picked at all. We haven't really seen her come out very often, at least the games I've casted so far this season. So pulling her out now is a very interesting choice, but like you said, the combination with Phoenix and Warden's Cage can be extremely powerful if played correctly. So I'm looking forward to seeing something like that come out.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the skill level of that Maiev player. Of course, we don't know who it will be quite yet, but if they're able to play it well and the Varian is close by, I think they'd be able to combo a plenty amount of damage here, especially if they want to pick up a third damage dealer, something that can play the solo lane to go with their healer. But I think they have options. Sonya and Jaina are the picks here from Hodis. Sonya, of course, for that solo lane. Jaina, because they need some form of wave clear, and she will do a great job with her Blizzard. What is the selection for the One Tricks to start moving into something that can add to the damage? The Sonya, I think the bottom lane is going to be a big issue right now. They need to find something to deal with her. But I think they still need one more piece to pair with Maiev and Kael'thas here.
Yeah, speaking strictly about the Sonya, what I've been seeing a lot so far since Lunara's rework is that a lot of teams will put Lunara against the Sonya in that solo lane capacity, and it's actually a fairly even, if not leaning more toward Lunara to win that out. How that again affects with there's a couple nerfs to Lunara's not biotoxin, that's totally different, nature's toxin that came out, so I don't know if that trade-off still exists. But instead, we're gonna get Stitches to help potentially pull those people into that Warden's Cage, and then add it on a Lucio.
I actually really like the Stitches pick here. It's about a year ago, of course, when JPL from Dignitas and Dig was playing this map, they would use Stitches because of his wave clear, and he's actually insane. So pairing it with Kael'thas is so great because you now have the hook into a gravity lapse, into a potential taunt from Varian, and all the blow up underneath it. So I really like this pivot they took in draft to go more to this pick style comp. We'll see if they're able to execute it. Of course, it all depends on how well that Stitches can land his hook.
Yeah, sometimes that can get tricky, but I mean, Jaina and Malfurion are both really delicious targets for that type of blow up. And even so, what I was thinking about the Jaina pickup as well, we're talking about, you know, Phoenix on Kael'thas, you swap that out with Ring of Frost and you have two circles that are essentially negating each other.
Oh, Zeratul. Flashy last pick there. Looks like Blaze the Captain is going to be playing that Zeratul. So, CatPeach, give me your thoughts on this map number 1. Which team do you think has the better draft?
You know, my gut currently leans with Heroes of the United States. I think it's just one of those compositions that's really tried and true. There's some interesting things going on with the One Tricks for sure, but simply with that, those first 4 hero picks on the side of Heroes of the United States, those all just seem so comfortable on this map, and I'm sort of in favor of comfort's always going to take out experimental in a lot of cases, and so I think, you know, they have that going for them with that composition. That said, you can't really laugh at Lucio assisting with those rotations that, with the blow-up potential of the one tricks, if they can pull it off, they definitely have an upper hand, but it's about that execution. It's a bit easier to execute on the draft of Heroes of the United States than it is the one tricks, in my opinion.
Absolutely agree with you. Here we are, it's game number 1, and on the left-hand side, we have the Heroes of the United States. Andrew's gonna be playing Jaina Watson on a Nubrak. Blaze gonna be playing the Zeratul Waterboy TKD on Sonya, and the support this evening will be Jub on Malfurion.
And then over for the one tricks, we're going to have Key on Lucio, Linkin Park on Stitches, Mydra will be on Maiev, Sheej on Kael'thas, and Kotip on Varian.
All right, so okay, there we go. I got the observer working. Yay! It's
Yay.
working. Looking at these level 1 talents, looks like a Nubrak is going to move into that Nerubian armor to get a bit extra spell armor up against the Kael'thas player on the other side. Fingers of Frost from Jaina. We have Block from Sonya. High King's Quest from Varian. Really like to see that. Mana Addict, of course, from Kael'thas. No convection here, folks. Andrew first to fall, and that was really fast. Jaina down in the blink of an eye. That's about as deleted as you're ever going to get at level 1 CatPeach.
I mean, we're talking about that blow up, and that just shows how quick that blow up is, right? It went from Jaina had a health bar to absolutely nothing in the blink of an eye. I looked down at a talent real quick, looked back up, and it was gone. So excellent, showing off that combo in practice here from the one tricks. Makes you feel good getting killed that early on.
Yeah, they're getting the kills and they're getting these rotations pretty clean so far. We're still sitting here between mid and top watching these teams duke it out. And Kael'thas is already up there about a half wave ahead. So in terms of getting to level 4 first, so far so good for the one tricks.
Yeah, so far so good, so long as they keep rotating and not allowing Heroes of the United States to end up picking that up, possibly get kills of their own, like it seems they're attempting to do right now. Watson ends up getting tethered, but Mydra's very low, needs to back away. Oh, Linkin Park with the hook, but it's Watson. Not much is going to come from that.
The Beetle blocking that gravity lapse there, a Nubrak, a little bit annoying when he has those Beetles. And she's just gonna take his tap back at the well and think about next time how he can make an adjustment. Bottom lane though, we see Sonya spearing on top of Varian. He doesn't have his level 4 yet, so he might actually fall here. 40 health. Does Blaze want to go for it? No. Varian's gonna get away with those 9 gems, use the tap, survive for now, and I think he's got to wait for his level 4. We'll see where he's gonna go, but I think there's opportunity. We see something other than taunt here.
Yeah, like you said, Blaze was lurking there in that Zeratul. That's going to be a constant threat for whoever is matching up against that Sonya. If it continues to be Kotip with that Varian, that could have been a very easy kill yet again. So Zeratul always lingering. You never know what corner he's creeping around, what break he's hiding out in. So it's something that the one tricks are going to have to be extremely conscious of.
So level 4 were grabbed by the one tricks, and it looks like Varian did opt for that Colossus smash. We'll see how that works out for him down in that lane up against the Sonya. Still haven't seen our level 4 pick from Maiev. There it is. It's Blade Dance. Of course, level 4 is now grabbed for Heroes of the United States. The fight is breaking out mid. Maiev with that great tether there. The Umbral Vine did connect onto the few, but not finding too much damage for the one tricks.
Yeah, Heroes of the United States, Stitches wasn't in that lane just yet, not really showing, and so I feel like if they're ever going to have the opportunity to grab picks of their own without that fear of blow-up, it's going to have to be when Stitches isn't hanging out with Kael'thas, with Maiev. So very good to test those waters right there.
Oh, another fight's breaking out. Umberbine connecting onto Zeratul, but he's walking with it. Survives, now blinks out. Here's Watson on the front line. Does have a little firebound from Kael'thas on him, so he's not going to be able to move too much further ahead. Down in the bottom lane we missed. We saw Varian get bullied out of the lane by Sonya and had to go back to his well, so a little bit of XP was able to be gained there. in the solo lane by Heroes of the United States, and now we're about dead even. Both teams, actually, it's about as even as it gets at level 6. So we really have a match on our hands here, CatPeach.
Yeah, and earlier we were talking about that half-level experience lead that the One Tricks did have, and how quickly that's now been giving up. They could have potentially at least kept that, maybe gotten a little bit more. Things like that slowly build over time. Looks like there's a bit of a fight coming out here. Blaze is gonna go down. Punishment on Zeratul trying to be sneaky there, but he's looking really low as well.
Yeah, that was a great find on Blaze. The Zeratul player falling there in that fight, and the rest of his team was down near the bottom trying to get the turners. Now we see a C-Smash coming out on Sonya. Here's the follow-up. Lucio speeding his team forward, but a Nubrak with a great burrow. Gonna interrupt all of this. 19 gems have fallen from Varian, and they are completely zoned out. Everyone from the One Tricks backing up to the well, and that is a huge loss for them, because now they don't have enough gems to return in. Whereas the Heroes of the United States, they're looking to get their spiders out now, and they do. Sheet could be in trouble. There's Zeratul stuck on him. Will Sheet? I don't think Sheet gets out of this. There's a burrow connection.
With the stun.
So
beautiful
great.
Beautiful follow-up. Beautiful assist. The guitar getting the hook, but nothing to follow up. Wow, yeah, that pick on Kael'thas was so valuable now going into this web weaver phase, where Kael'thas does have that really great help with clearing out those spider games. So not having that immediately is going to allow Heroes of the United States to maybe push things a little bit further and see how much damage they can get to these front gates.
Yeah, as a Kael'thas player, being all by yourself and not knowing your Zeratul, what a great hook, but has burrow away there as Watson. Just, you got to be careful if you're Kael'thas in this match to not be too far away from the rest of your team, because that Zeratul is hungry to kill you. These web weavers, though, are hungry to kill some walls. They've already gotten one down at mid. Right now, they might be finding a kill here on Stitches as he got zoned out by those great gravity laps by Siege to push those players back from chasing Stitches into that fort.
That was close. Jaina ended up missing her Frostbolt, and I think had she landed that and slowed Stitches just a little bit more, that would have been an extra kill. But just simply being able to push him away, valuable, definitely for Heroes of the United States. Now a level up on their opponent, so they're looking good going into the end of this web weaver phase.
Mana Addict has been completed, and level 7 talents are on your screen. Nothing too crazy that I can tell here. It all looks pretty standard. Subterranean Shield, of course, from a Nubrak not opting for that W talent, which might be a bit of a surprise with the recent rework. There's a hook onto the Zeratul that has blinked away. Watson burrowed forward to try to interrupt any sort of further engagement. Level 10, so close now for Hodis. They're going to try to pick it up here at mid. They only need a couple more minions, as Maiev and Stitches are trying to find something before Hodis reaches that level 10 mark, and I don't think they'll be able to do it. Sony down in the bottom lane finding some Siege Giants as her team is turning in the gems they have on hand now with level 10s online. Cocoon, Void, Prison, Ring of Frost, Twilight, Dream, and one last selection from Sonya still pending.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think Leap or Wrath here. Leap might be a little bit dangerous, again, with that blow up and going right into it. But Sonya says, bring on the danger. Leap is picked up. Very interesting choice there. And yeah, until the One Tricks can get level 10, they're in a bit of a hard place. Level 10 finally picked up. They have enough for a turn in. However, their opponents get it first with their second web weaver phase in this game. They're at least holding on to the siege camp for the time being to help with a little bit of this counter push if possible. Park with a hook, no target. And yeah, web weaver phase number 2. This can't be feeling very good for the One Tricks.
Yeah, anytime you fall behind 2 turns, it's usually a recipe for disaster. This is the Void Prison onto 2. Currently, Leap is there. Ring of Frost is there. Those are lockdown targets, but the barrier saving them for now. Silence was played there, and Sonya is the one trying to get the damage done, but she doesn't have enough. She's gonna fall. There's a Cocoon on Maiev as Watson now is the one in trouble. Surrounded by the Sharks. Watson with a burrow away is gonna escape with his life. Hook missing there by Linkin Park on that Stitches. But it ends up being a 1-for-0 in defense there by the One Tricks.
Yeah, lots of ultimates going out there, a lot of flash and bang for not a lot of blood. The Void Prison with the Ring of Frost was incredibly clever from Heroes of the United States, waiting for that Void Prison right to be let go, landing the roots there. Had that sound barrier not be present, I think we would have seen a few more kills in favor of Heroes of the United States.
These match there not doing too much. My head is very low and walked right into Zeratul. Is gonna fall to Jaina actually. I think that was 24 gems just got dropped. Varian's trying to desperately get him, and he does. Kodip escaping with the gems like a bandit in the night. And this is the opportunity that the One Tricks needs to find, is with that kill on Jaina, the counter kill there. Can they make their way onto one of these turning points, get those gems in? Right now, Varian the one holding most of them. Of course, Stitches has 24 on himself, but they need to make their way over to one of these turning points. It looks like they're going to try to sneak their way up towards the top, but they are walking through a path of minions here.
Yeah, it's so hard to sneak a turn in when you have Zeratul around, but gets this hook onto Blaze. Void Prison pulled out for the retreat. Ring of Frost again going down, and can we get kills? We get kill number 1 onto Lucio. Kotis ends up falling right after, and that's so many gems lost for the One Tricks.
All of them are gone. 51 currently on Mayette, but she is not getting away. This, now twice we've seen it. Perfect execution of the Void Prison. Sonya leaps, gets herself trapped inside the Void Prison, so she's going to land on the targets. And the Ring of Frost from Jaina, twice in a row now, connecting onto those members that were captured. And the second time, no barrier was available from Lucio, so they found the kills they needed, and all those gems disappearing from the balance of the One.
And now they know that they can time that out. They can bait out that sound barrier and know that it won't be up by the time that Void Prison and Ring of Frost and Leap are all available for Heroes of the United States. And so that's a little bit of a trap card that they now have and can activate at any point during the rest of this match. Now with level 13, they're looking not only to turn in what gems that they do have, but I imagine we're going to start seeing them gain a lot more map pressure. We're going to see the One Tricks making a cheeky boss play right now as they see Heroes of the United States showing up on.
You know what? I like this. I think you gotta sometimes risk it to get the biscuit. Go for this boss because you're behind. You have no gems. You're not getting a turn in anytime soon. Of course, they already had 30 in the bank, but look at this. They're coming in. There's a gorge onto Zeratul as the boss is captured. Ring of Frost connecting on a very neat fall very early in the fight, but Jaina's so low. She's gonna help finish that one off. Blaze now on that Zeratul sitting in the Phoenix, got most of his health taken away, and Kel'Thas Sheesh from distance downtown. Killed there onto the Zeratul. And they can get a turn in right now. If they get these gems in, they have boss plus turn in, and this could be the opportunity to get back in the game for the One Tricks.
They do, but they also have to keep a watch on that siege camp pushing through mid. That's going to be pushing that back their own web weaver at the start. So we're going to see them start to clean that up. Hydra finally getting the turn in, and the One Tricks now preparing for their first web weaver phase of this game. Finally caught up in talent. This is their time to shine if they can pull it off.
Watson playing that Anubrag, still holding a level 13 talent, almost at level 15 now as he gets hooked in. Gravity Labs connecting, he does have Burrow back to safety. Not exactly the target you want to be hooking, and he does survive for now. Bottom lane, or mid lane, excuse me, we're watching here as the Web Weaver is starting to push onto this wall. They got to get some structured damage. They are down that at about 3/4 of a level. So they need to find structures here. Recently, of course, these front walls are giving less XP than just a week ago. Gravity Labs connecting on to the Jaina. She drops Ring of Frost, gets pulled back in with that Warden's Cage. That's a kill on Jaina. Blaze so low. Watson, though, even lower and falls. Sony now on the back line, all by herself. Gravity Labs can help secure a kill there. It's been all Gravity Labs all day by Sheesh. And a Gorge finds a Malfurion. It's a quad kill for the One Tricks, and now it's time to pony up and get a keep down. This structure at mid is going down, and the wall is up next.
That Ring of Frost felt like such a panic ultimate. Every other time we've waited for the setup, and Jaina noticed she was in danger and just sort of threw it out. And I feel like that didn't allow for Heroes of the United States to plan out their plan of execution, right? And so that was just really interesting to see. I likely would have done the same thing if I were in Jana's shoes. Potentially getting that route and saving the rest of your team is always a desirable choice, but in that instance, I feel like it threw things out of whack for here in the United States.
So CatPeach, I want to go back 3 minutes in this game as the One Tricks attempted to get that boss, and they barely ended up getting it. And look at where we are now. They're leading 10-8 in kills. They have a level advantage over their opponents, and they swung this game completely in the other direction, as now they are the team trying to work down keeps, as there's still no gems available for the turn-in for Hodis. We do see them now bot lane looking for this siege camp. It's going to be invaded, but it will be captured. And engaging forward with a Cocoon and a Void Prison, there's a Nubrak, but they're not going to have the Ring of Frost this time. Great Twilight Dream on the Varian, and wow, not expected, but a little bit of a split there with that Void Prison getting those members on the backside. We saw Maiev and Varian a little bit too overeager, and that might cost a turn in here, as now mid will be able to be cleaned up. They can clean up bottom safely, and this might turn the game back in the other direction. Good play there by Hodis.
This back and forth is so exciting, and when we were talking about, like we were saying in draft, players being able to adapt on the fly to these compositions and challenges and things like that, Heroes of the United States realizing how crucial Stitches is being in these team fights when he's landing that hook warrants a Cocoon. And so throwing that Cocoon first, get Stitches out of the picture, allowed Heroes of the United States to plan for so much. Now getting the next Web Weaver phase in favor of them, they already have taken all forts out. The waves are fairly neutral so far in all the lanes, but this is a chance for them to maybe take down a keep if they can keep playing these team fights as well as they have been late in this game.
Here come the blue Web Weavers. They have these Knights pushing down the mid lane as well, so that's going to be their target. They want to get this mid keep down and make the catapult start spawning for them. 10-10 as a hook connects onto a Nubrak. Gets gorged behind the wall, but Stitches, you got to get her out of burrow range, and he doesn't get over the wall. Watson now trapped in by a Warden's Cage, but the damage on the wall is going to get Watson out. He survives him now. Hodis on that Varian trying to harass the backline, but didn't do too much. This could be enough, though, to save the keep, but they have to worry about clearing up the Web Weavers in the other lanes, and they have no ultimates available. Whereas, look at this. Heroes of the United States, they have their combo online. Void Prison's there. Ring of Frost is there. Leap is there. All they have to do is find some targets from the One Tricks and make this game happen.
At the same time, they don't want to be too aggressive. They don't necessarily have an advantage other than the ultimate, which is nothing to scoff at for sure, but having too much confidence in yourself in situations like this can also lead to that backfiring. So we're going to have to see how Heroes of the United States, once we play this out, the Web Weavers now gone. Here comes the one with the Void Prison. Ring Frost is going to land a little bit too soon.
Oh, the Void Prison wasn't canceled, and they'll be able to survive this one and potentially push back. Yeah, they will. So a bit of a misstep that time by Blaze, not canceling the Void Prison in time, wasn't able to lock in those members with the Ring of Frost. And look at this.
Another boss play.
Are they? Or are they going to the top
Possibly.
turn-in?
Do you think they'll bait the boss? Knowing they've done it once before, can they potentially bait it and then force a team fight?
They are scouted now by minions, so it looks like Hodis knows they're here. As they make the rotation towards the top, here's a Nubrak leading the way. There's Cocoon onto Maiev. They might try to single her out here.
That'd be a huge win if they can
Roots
do
are
that.
down. There's a stun. There's a kill. 17 gems down. Varian now stuck on the backline all by himself. Twilight Dream going to push him back. And the barrier has to be used by Lucio to scoot his team back to safety. But they lost Maiev. They lost a good portion of gems there. I don't think Varian was able to get all of them.
Yeah, and that's even showing. We've been talking about the blow up on the side of the One Tricks, but here's the United States with their own version of that as well. If they're given that distance from the rest of the team, being able to single out that Maiev, totally diffuse that situation. You don't have a Warden's Cage to worry about, and the One Tricks were a bit nervous to keep on engaging, so I think the back away was smart. The sound barrier being able to bait that out as well is so valuable now that this combo is coming back online for Heroes of the United States.
I like seeing this aggression, and Mubrak trying to step forward, just got Cocoon back online. There's a Void Prison connecting on to the Kael'thas. Will they play the combo? There's Ring of Frost that time, and that's going to be a dead Kael'thas. Still more time to make something happen. Cocoon used on Varian, but Linkin Park zoning that out and able to break Varian free. Stun leap, and Varian could be burst into shreds. Roots are down, he's stuck in, and a kill. Watson finds it. Okay, level 20's online with 2 down. They could make something happen here. Are they going to move the boss? Long fishing hook not connecting. And yeah, Hodis, they're marching to this boss. They want to make this game happen.
Yeah, they don't have enough for a turn-in, so boss is a incredibly smart play, and they know their opponents don't have enough to sneak a turn-in during this as well. This potentially can be a final push through that top lane and ending this game, getting Heroes of the United States their first win in this set, which would be incredibly impressive. But I love Linkin Park hiding here, gets the hook through the wall on Blaze, but he's able to blink away. And that's kind of the risk with hooks against an Anubarak, against the Zeratul, is that you might be able to land it, but there are enough targets with those kinds of escapes that it might be a little bit of a waste. But good shot, good prediction over on the side of Linkin Park for that one.
All right, now for both teams, boss pushing down top lane here for Hodis as the well is down. The keep wall's already been destroyed. Phoenix drops by Kael'thas. And I'm surprised we're not seeing any sort of push with this boss. Instead, a bit passive right now from Hodis. They want to finish off their turn-in. They have 44 gems on hand, 7 in the bank as Jaina's marching to mid lane to clear up a wave. Zeratul down to the bottom. They're going to gather the rest of the gems necessary to get their 4th set of web weavers down. But is that the play? They didn't end up getting the keep, which is so important. Getting that catapult pressure and not getting just a little bit of damage they needed with it. I'm surprised they didn't want to go for it there.
Yeah, I mean, that keep has so little health right now. Had they pushed with it, I understand wanting to play cautious, not get picked on yourself, but I think a little bit of an assistance for that boss could have guaranteed that keep in a safe manner. We're gonna see Cocoon come out again on Maya. Roots coming down in order to prepare.
A bit early on the Roots, there's a unstoppable frames there by Maiev. Blaze, wow, C-Smash connecting hard, has to get cleansed out by Malfurion. Now it's Sonya having to use leap backwards, not offensively that time. Phoenix played to zone out the rest of Hodis as Maiev is engaging forward. On top of this, Malfurion, will she find Uncle Vine? No. Warden's Cage is played. Watson trapped in, and Waterboy TDK's there as well. Void Prison dropped onto 3, but there is no Ring of Frost this time. Water TDK will fall, and this is a huge opportunity now for the One Tricks. Again, finding kills at these weird moments that are allowing them to get turn-ins, and they could potentially get the first keep of the game.
They potentially could. Like, so that fight in that narrow hallway, that choke point specifically, was a really great place for the One Tricks to take that, just because they have so much to keep Heroes of the United States in there, right? We saw the Warden's Cage come out. You can't necessarily back away from that, and they ended up winning out on that fight. So a lot of teams would say, no, we don't want to fight here. It's really risky to fight in this choke. One Trick say, we got to take it here, we got to take it now, and try to make something happen.
Alright, so I just showed everyone a replay of that last fight there in that choke point, as now the mid keep is about to fall very quickly. Webweaver just joining, and it has full health, so now it's, do they want more keeps or do they want to go for core? Looks like they're going to back up and move to the bottom lane. They got 1 down, they want 2.
They still have a wall to, or a gate to go through in the bottom lane, though. I would have liked to see them maybe push that mid Webweaver a little bit more, but I do understand them wanting to clear out that minion wave, help this second Webweaver come in and maybe get a pick in a more safer fashion.
6 seconds on the Void Prison, and that's going to be the only saving grace left for Heroes of the United States, as there's a Web Blast. Void Prison dropped in the back line. Will the combo come out? There's Leap, there's Ring of Frost. This time it does connect, and the Twilight Dream as well. The damage is here, and these are members down from both sides. A 1-for-1 so far, making a 2-for-2, as the Webweaver's still getting onto that keep. Will they find the rest of it? I'm not sure. Hoda, Variant about to fall so low, has 8 gems and no health. See you later, Variant. Now it's a 3 for 2 in favor of POTUS. Lincoln Park and Lucio trying to back away, but the Pearl forward by Nubrak finds a secondary stun. Here's Sonya, might have Spear. There's Roots though connecting onto Stitches. He is at about 10% health. Finally the Spear hits and he falls.
There were so many overlapping ultimates in that last fight that it was hard to keep track. In that back and forth, that ping pong, one down on blue, one down on red, just shows how evenly matched both of these teams are right now. Here's the United States. They did lose the first keep, and those lanes are pushed not so well in their favor, but they're going to try to get them that keep they couldn't get before, get a little bit of that advantage, get those catapults pushing in that lane, but they're going to have to go back and start clearing up these lanes before they can really act.
They do snipe out the keep. Great job. Boss now spawning as we see Hodis responding to all the pressure coming through mid, coming through bot, coming through top. They have waves pushed so far back, but I might have liked to see them make a play on the boss because they had that keep down, and the boss pushing that top lane is now an absolute win condition as we are 25 minutes into this game. Both teams sitting at level 22, 17 to 14 on kills. And let me show you who's been getting the majority of those kills. It's Sonya with 8 on the side of POTUS, and the Stitches with 4 currently for the one tricks. Both sides pick up their knights. They're going to clash at mid. Bot side, we see Varian there along with the rest of his team, but Blue Webweavers is the story of the moment as Heroes of the United States find another turn-in, and they find another Void Prison as well. Will the combo come out? There's a leap, there's the Ring of Frost, another bursted combination. The Cocoons there as well. I think they're going to find all the damage they need because with 2 down and not much they can do, Ice Block has to be played by Malfurion. They trade it out. It ends up being a 4 for 1, make it 5 for 1. That could be all she wrote. The Webweavers are here. 4 heroes still on the map. They're marching up the top, and that could be game.
I believe that is going to be game. No one's going to be up in time to help defend this Webweaver. Perhaps Kael'thas right as the Webweaver is getting to the core, but it's not looking very good. So save for a miracle. I think this is game number 1 going to Heroes of the United States, being able to show that they've got those comfort heroes that we're used to seeing in this game. They are able to land those combinations. We saw a couple missteps with the Void Prison Ring of Frost combination, but all in all, the use of Leap into Void Prison and waiting for that to be over to layer on top of the Ring of Frost is such a clever idea. So hats off to Heroes of the United States for those plays. It was remarkable to see.
Outstanding game. I had a lot of fun with that one. Both teams were back and forth numerous times. It was all about that combination, the Void Prison, the Ring of Frost, the Leap, the Twilight Dream, everything connecting at the same time. An R-button comp, to say the least, and it ended up working. 22 kills, nothing to scoff at all, CatPeach.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of blood loss in that game on both sides, absolutely. Yeah, just thinking about that second to last team fight with the constant back and forth, one pick. Both of these teams have so much bloodlust, and I love to see it. Seeing really chaotic fights like these so late into the season in such important matches is one of the most exciting things that, for me, happens in Heroes of the Storm. So I'm hoping we see more aggression coming out from both sides going into this series.
Absolutely. We are going to take a short 4-minute break. I'm going to talk with the captains, try to figure out which map we're going to next. That was map number 1. This is a best of 3 series. 1-0 so far for Hodis. We'll be back in 4. 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. And we are going live. All right. Sorry about that. You guys saw some behind the scenes. I was trying to make sure I had those replays muted. Saw some feedback in chat. Welcome here, guys. It is game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. Map number 1. What a thriller on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Hodis took it in about 26 minutes, I think we said. Map number
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super long. Great game. Map number 2, though, was selected by the One Tricks. It's going to be Battlefield of Eternity, CatPeach.
I know. This is a very exciting one. 2-lane map. I'm always partial to see how teams like to change things up on maps like these. A little different than our 3-lane dominant maps, I would say. The objective on this one also extremely interesting. Focus on chunking down those big beefy angels in the middle. So we'll have to see how things change up between game number 1 and this one, as the needs of the competition are very different. And I think there's a lot that both teams got away with in that last match that they might not get away with similar drafts. So I'm expecting to see a few things change up on both sides.
CatPeach, I talked about it right before we got into here about the Regen Invitational bid goal, and it finally happened. Ragnarok coming through with the 233 we needed. This thing is fully funded, fam. What up?
Woo!
All right.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Before Season 5, there will be a enormous event hosted by my organization, Regen. Last season we did it. Brought in 16 NGS teams to participate for $100 worth of Battle.net gift cards. I almost called them Blizz.net gift cards.
Blizz.net.
So yeah, Blizz.net cards, of course. And it's going to happen again thanks to all of you guys who have contributed. You guys are the reason I put it on. And thank you so much once again to Ragnarok for being not only a friend of mine, but also a huge supporter of everything I do. I really appreciate you, friend.
High five, Ragnarok.
Back to the game, though. BOE and Stukov and Medivh have been banned out. I think we saw both these bans in game number 1.
Yep. Stukov was the first ban last game as well for Hodis. Medivh coming in for that second round ban last game, but the importance of banning out that Tracer for that Kael'thas pickup was fairly important, I would say, even though the One Tricks didn't end up winning out that game. So being able to ban out that Medivh again, if it's something that they're extremely worried about, good call in my book.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just they know that the One Tricks want a One Trick that Stukov support. The Medivh ban, I think last game made sense because they went Stitches and they didn't want to have the portal available as an escape. Bobo coming through with 500 more bits. Dude, I don't know if you saw, we passed the bit goal, man. You don't even need to throw bits at me anymore, but I do appreciate it.
You say you have to do it all over again for it to keep going. Get double the bits, man. You gotta get them out. And now we're seeing why we got that Tracer ban last match. Tracer picked up immediately for Hodis.
Yeah, I think that's smart. If you guys ban Medivh, okay, we'll just take the Tracer, which you guys banned out in game number 1, but this time you're leaving available for us. Tracer picked up here, and on Battlefield of Eternity, the Tracer pick makes a lot more sense than it did on Tomb of the Spider Queen, in my opinion.
We will forge a great
Absolutely,
destiny.
and when we're talking about chunking down those beefy angels in mid, Grayman's a great hero to do it, coming out. We're going to see the Varian make another appearance as well. What did you think about the Colossus Smash Varian that we saw last game?
I mean, it was there, but like, I don't think it was there when they needed it. It was more like on the front lines. I would have liked to have seen it saved for those burst down targets that get hooked in.
Detected.
Gravity Labs, Judge Bread throwing the follow channel. Thanks, man. I don't know if they want to go into the same sort of thing here. Hopefully for them, this is taunt, knowing there's a Tracer on the other side, as we see the Anub'arak and Malfurion once again.
Yeah, I mean, the root combination to help Tracer land those pulse bombs if it's needed, or just to give her a really easy target to help charge up that pulse bomb. You can't really argue with that, and there are, honestly, with the Stukov ban, Malfurion, top pick healer, so they're able to snag that, and you have to wonder what that support option might look like on the side of the One Tricks. Are they going to go that Lucio again? those sound barriers made quite a difference in a lot of those last team fights in that last match. But we'll have to see if there maybe is enough room for impact there coming into the rest of this draft. But I'm curious to see who they're going to ban out now, knowing the results of last game and seeing a little bit similar setup come in.
They are going to ban away the Arthas to help the Greymane out just a bit. I don't think they have to worry about the Zeratul again. I mean, there's already a Tracer on the side of Hodis, so I don't think they want to go a Tracer and a Zeratul. They have a bit of overlap.
Was Tyrande something the One Tricks like to play this season? I don't know off the top of my head, but the Tyrande ban is incredibly specific, I will say.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I guess just because Battlefield of Eternity, Hunter's Mark on the Immortal, but is it really a hero you're that scared of? I don't think she brings too much to the table, especially when it's a pretty juicy target for Tracer to kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna throw me off a little bit, but yeah, perhaps it's just something that Tracer is really scared of, being worried maybe about those stuns that she can bring. But thinking about the next rotation for the One Tricks, you're gonna end up pulling out Li Ming and instead pulling out the Uther in this match. Li Ming seems to be not strictly, but very much respond to Cocoon, if you have the option to.
There is one hero they have to pick right now, and it is the Deer. Lunara up against this Uther will help them tremendously. You have Tracer as a finisher. I think Lunara absolutely has to be the play here, and if it's not that, then the only other option I think, and I don't like it here, would be a Gul'dan. I don't think makes sense. I think it has to be Lunara, and Uther's going to have a tremendous amount of trouble dealing with all that spread poison damage. And of course, we know Nature's Culling recently got nerfed, but still an effective tool here on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, it's always been really effective, like you were saying, against Uther, who only has that single target healing. And so you lay down all that poison on the rest of your enemy team, and he's scrambling all over the place, trying to think of who I heal first. So that was definitely a risk that the One Tricks, I'm hoping, considered when picking up that Uther and have a plan. There you go. There is the new Deer, and followed up with the cow. We just have a beef stew brewing here.
We're gonna have some venison and some beef, like. All right, plenty on the table right now for Hodis, and how will it be responded to by the One Tricks? They have one selection left. Of course, they could put Greymane in the solo lane, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a solo laner. They could use Varian as a main tank. Of course, they don't have to. So I think there's a few different options they can go here. Most likely going to be some sort of main tank, though. And do they need another interrupt for a mosh pit? Wave of Force should be enough.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. Do you take Wave of Force to interrupt the mosh pit, or do you go Disintegrate to help that Cocoon target escape?
Yeah.
That puts Li Ming in a very interesting position, because we usually see her take Cocoon in the face of an Anubarak. But now...
Alright. Alright.
Lily.
Double support. So, okay, they see the Lunara, and as mentioned, Uther can't handle that Lunara damage, so they're going to use Lily to help supplement his heals, as well as blind the auto attacks coming out from Tracer and Lunara. It could work. I mean, it's a bit crazy. CatPeach, this is the semifinal match. You're down 1-0 already. You can't afford to lose. And Lily?
I'm with you. So if I'm being entirely honest, I was thinking something more along the lines of maybe you get someone who can shield your team, since Uther can't necessarily keep up on all the healing, or someone who has a bit more of that self-sustain so Uther doesn't have to worry about them. The Lily I definitely was not seeing, but the Panda can be scrappy. I don't play support very often, but when I do tend to pick up the Panda, and she can do work. I don't know if there's enough kill potential now. You have Greymane kind of now in that hyper carry role, but is that going to work out?
All right, let me introduce these teams on the left-hand side. Game 1 winners. We have Heroes of the United States. Watson once again playing his patented Anubarak Jub on the Malfurion. Andrew going to play Lunara Blaze on Tracer up in the top lane. It's ETC played by a Waterboy, TKD.
And on the red side, 1 game down, we have the One Tricks hoping to get their first win this match. We're going to have Key on Uther, Kotip on Lili, Linkin Park on Varian, Sheej on Li Ming, and Mydra on Greymane.
All right, so these level 1 talents, taking a peek at them right now, we do see that Wind Serpent from Lili in her last rework that does now throw out a blinding wind at the closest enemy target, which is of use because she can cast it from a further distance than her other blind, so it gives her more of that range utility. Although she is up here in a solo lane by herself. You don't see Lili solo laning often. Thanks for the follow, Stark TV and Moist Venus. Roots there connecting onto Varian. Linkin Park will be able to scoot back. But like we talked about, they didn't go for a second tank. So this is going to be a solo tank Varian. And outside of his taunt, doesn't have a lot of heal. And if the chase starts from Andrew playing that Lunara or Blaze playing that Tracer, there's only the 1 taunt on a pretty long cooldown with all things considered to help heal for his team. Is that enough?
No, I don't think it's going to be, and if it is, it'll have to wait until a late game. Linkin Park being the first to go down. You don't really want your main tank being the first kill of a game. Varian's a bit funny in that regard though, right? We're gonna see yet another kill potentially coming out on Mydra next as HOTUS take the siege camp in the bottom lane. I do fear for the One Tricks a bit. They're going to have to play extremely slow and extremely patient and probably give up a lot in the early game in hope that once Varian gets that taunt, once Lili gets something like Jugs, gets a little bit more utility, builds up her talents a bit, then they can make a comeback, but the early parts are going to be extremely hard for them.
Yeah, especially in those level 4, no taunt available, and Linkin Park, you can tell, they're struggling so much, and they're giving up a good bit here, but surprisingly not a lot of structure damage, as this Cosmic Camp and Minion Wave only got a few hits off there. Top lane, we're watching ETC up against Lili. Not too much action here. It's Lili leading the mana war for now, though. Bruiser Camp started over here by HOTUS, and it might be a bit early. Maybe they'll hold it until the Immortal spawns, as we do see 30 seconds until that happens. They do end up capping it. Bruiser is marching down bottom lane now for HOTUS. Top side, we do see this Bruiser Camp just about completed by Uther and Greymane. Mydra and Key trying to capture that and will be able to successfully.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of this Immortal phase, and again, going back to, level 4, we're now going to have taunt picked up, so Linkin Park can now start playing more of a part in that main tank role. But how much do they want you focus on the soak versus focusing on these Immortals? Greymane can obviously help chunk down that health relatively quickly, but we already have HOTUS charging down on that Immortal, and I think they're going to win this this race in the halftime show, but can One Tricks come around and make them pay for it?
Roots are connected there onto Varian. He has to back up very low on health, but he has a double support, so he's going to get some health back relatively quickly. Halftime has been reached and is being led by a wide margin currently by HOTUS. They're going to whittle down this Immortal, and although they don't have the stronger of the two season comps, it looks like for now they're doing a pretty decent job zoning Roots there. Varian pushing forward onto Blaze, has to back up, and now they have this zoned out pretty well. Will they send Greymane? Yes, they do. Mydra heading over to the other side of this map, trying to work down that health bar on their Immortal they're trying to kill. The defense is still here. 4 members from HOTUS trying to hold back Watson and co. Here comes Nubrak in, gonna burrow forward. There is an Immortal stun, knocking Nubrak back. Tracer finding a pulse bomb, connecting onto a full health target. Uther, as now Linkin Park is surrounded. He's gonna be the first to fall in that little skirmish, and Immortal #1 going over to the Heroes of the United States.
There was a really interesting call for the One Tricks to push off and then send Greymane for the Immortal. you always have to think about what is the trade-off of us defending versus getting as much of that shield down as possible. Because you hit a certain point that you have to admit you're not going to get the immortal for yourselves. So how much do you want to allow that shield to exist, make it maybe a little bit tougher in that lane, but potentially get a kill in the meantime? Or do you simply focus on the shield? So very interesting choice. We're going to have to see if it ends up paying off.
Level 7s were picked up by Otis, and there they are in your screen right now, pushing forward with this Immortal still at 100% health. The shield was just destroyed. Leeming on the backside, trying to throw some orbs at it, get the health down, but a great burrow combination with the Pulse Bomb, and that is a dead Greymane. Kill number 1 here, 4 overall for Otis as they get the first fort of the game down. This Immortal still at 50% health, and he might find some more blood. Roots connected on the Varian. Will Lincoln Park fall? The poison's there. It's enough. That is now a double kill as they leave this Immortal to get whatever it can. Might get that no tower, but they got the kill, they got the fort, and now they're getting the camp out. This one has been all Otis so far.
Yeah, Otis is dominating, and Tracer, Blaze is able to simply harass that Greymane whenever he attempts to dive in to Otis's composition. So that pulse bomb is something that Greymane's going to have to be a bit more careful and keep an eye on and try to pay attention to when that is, when they think it's available. It's hard to really tell given that it doesn't have a traditional charge up time. But interested to see how the one-tricks end up, speaking of pulse bombs. That's one Panda going down from it as well. Yeah, the charge on these pulse bombs is so incredibly quick.
Now, we talked about game 1 banning away the Tracer. I think now we're starting to see why. As we look at this leaderboard, Tracer doing a ton of damage, has one of the kills there we just saw. But overall, just an outstanding job by Blaze, the captain, on this hero as they get another fort down. They're going to give up the top structure, but they could push forward onto this keep wall. I'm surprised they're not. Instead, they're going to move into a defense. Try to cut off this escaping team that has a very long walk. They have to use hard, so they're in trouble, CatPeach. No level 10 for them, but level 10s are online. We put those on your screen for you. Cocoon, Quantum Spike, Mosh Pit, Twilight Dream, and the, whatever that's called, Thornwood Vine. They find a kill on
ended up going down to the pulse bomb yet again. Lincoln Park now getting caught out as well. Cocoon on the Lily. Lincoln Park trying to do what they can, but not enough damage, not enough survivability. Ends up going down. I set now on the Panda, and that is 4 members of the One Tricks going down here right before this Immortal phase begins.
Finding kills when it matters, and right now it matters because the Immortals have spawned. They're able to steal away a Shaman camp, it looks like, and then they're going to get marching on to the burn, the race once again, and Lunara's already there. She's, of course, got that Nature's Calling at level 4, so she's got it down to 75% health as the rest of her team is going to join, and no level 10s yet for the One Tricks. They're so far behind in this game. 10-0 on kills, CatPeach.
They're so incredibly on the back foot, and it's really hard to be in this position where there is just something going on all the time. They have to respond to that camp, and now the halftime show is hit for the Immortals. Now they have to consider, do we go in and try to defend, but we don't have level 10s yet, so who do we send to soak? There are so many questions that they're just kind of overloaded with right now, and it doesn't give them a chance to step back and say, this is where we're at, how do we turn this around? They're simply playing reactionary at this point.
26-minute game in game number 1. Right now, 8 minutes and 40 seconds as an Immortal with a 75% shield will be pushing down this bottom lane. Level 10's finally achieved by the One Tricks, but will it be enough to save this keep? Or will we see Hodis take down the first one of the game? This is a huge, huge moment in the game, and the One Tricks have to make something happen. Is the Lily and the Uther combination enough in the double support? Are they lacking because of not having that tank? We will see, and here it comes Immortal. Now at this fort or deep wall, Cocoon Play disintegrate, breaking Lincoln Park out very quickly, but the tower is down. And they are working on the wall. The side wall is down. They're going to be able to march past if they want. They have not used 3 of their ultimates. Monster being the main one here, as not a great interrupt available. They didn't go that way before. So we'll see if ETC can find it. Here he goes looking for it, finds Lincoln Park, and a burrow forward by the Anubrak will help kill the Varian along with the Tracer Pulse Bomb. There's the Divine Shield on Greymane to get him to safety, but not enough as they lost the Varian and they're going to lose this keep. The first keep of the game down. It's 9 minutes and 55 seconds into this one, and I don't know if they want to go core. They don't. Okay, so I think that's a smart move, but overall, that's exactly what they wanted, and that's exactly what they got.
Yeah, I mean, in that first Immortal, we saw them entirely clear out that top fort, and so I didn't really have any reservations saying they're definitely going to take a keep here. They simply can push, and they had so many tools that just put fear into the hearts of the one tricks. We had that option for the mosh pit, which ended up getting canceled out from something that I'm quite unsure of, if I'm being honest. But there are just so many terrifying tools that POTUS have in their pockets, including that Pulse Bomb, which yet again lands on the Greymane. Disintegrate from Siege comes out, tries to make them back off. Jugs ends up coming out as well as the mosh pit. No one's really going to land except he puts Varian there.
On the backside, Varian was trying to get Tracer down all by himself. I think a bit of, call it tilt if you want, but it seems like Varian just totally on a separate page from his team right now. It took that fight without the rest of his team at his backside and cost another death for him. And I think if you look at the total, he's leading all heroes right now with 6 deaths in this game. You hate to see it, as the Immortals have just been announced. 30 seconds until they're on the field. You see a Bruiser camp and a Siege camp being worked on by POTUS, and they're going to have both of these as there is no one here to contest. 15 seconds until they spawn, and no level 13s for the one tricks. Be very hard for them to make anything happen right now.
Yeah, especially with Greymane being split, although it does look like he's going to end up rejoining the team. But this is one of those moments they have to make a decision. Do they fight being a talent down, and is there a way to make that work? I think we're starting to see a lot of the punishment of that baseline passive armor being removed from Varian in this latest round of balance patches. The Cocoon ends up going out on him. Does the ETC have the mosh pit? No, not yet. Jugs end up coming out as well. This fight is going back and forth.
Yeah, Jugs enough to keep everyone alive for now. Totally reset this, and neither team has a lot of ultimates available. So it's going to be a bit of poking Lunara there, of course, with her Thornwood Vine, really the only source of ranged damage onto this. So trying to use that, but they also might find Lincoln Park and getting very low silence there. The Twilight Dream was enormous from Malfurion, and that is a kill, and this is going to be their opportunity to push the halftime mark.
The core's at 85% right now, too. That bottom Siege Giant camp was still pushing that entire time. And so they've already taken core damage. Varian ended up going down because there wasn't a heal from Uther, there wasn't a heal available from Lily. Both of them are, extremely timed, somewhat long cooldown on Uther. Lily, you just have to be patient, and you can't really target that heal anyway. But not being able to come out in time, and this really is not looking good for the one tricks who are simply being chased back into their base, losing yet another Immortal that now has a full shield, and I'm having a hard time struggling to think how they end up turning this game around. They have a hard time defending against these Immortals. We saw how easily that keep went down in the last phase, and it looks like POTUS trying to go the back way and just finish off this game.
They're saying, to hell with that Immortal, we want to start working on this core, and here they go, ladies and gents. Mosh Pit has been played, connected onto 2, they're going to get down at least 1. Lily has fallen, Lincoln Park could be the next to fall, but he's very sticky right now. Surviving for now also is Draymond with that Divine Shield, trying to deal through the damage onto ETC, but a great power slide onto Uther. He's going to fall as well as a triple kill. They're finding more damage. Hydra could be the last to fall. It's a mega kill. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all they need. This game is over. And moving on to the Division Finals in Division B East, it's going to be Heroes of the United States.
Here's the United States showing that they aren't as easily upset as the One Trick's last opponents in this playoff series, and congratulations to them. That Tracer play from Blaze was incredibly deadly, and if I had to give an MVP, even though Tracer doesn't necessarily have the numbers, you know, leading in any of the categories, so many effective pulse bombs and just so much zoning potential that came out of them. So congratulations, fantastic play. Thanks to the Deer as well, Lunara, that reworked those nerfs, Tenacious Culling showing not really an issue for this team.
A flawless victory here on map number 2, 18 kills to 0. Lunara, the perfect pick there, leading the way in siege and hero damage, 6 kills, but Tracer with 9 of them. Blaze really flexing it out on that Tracer. Here's the talents on screen if you want to review this VOD later on during your free time, and with the division finals coming up next week, you might want to take a look at what these teams are playing. But let's switch back over to the cameras, try to get an interview started with Blaze from Here's the United States. Give me 1 second to try to reach out to him.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess...
let's move over to lobby number 1, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, while we wait for someone... Oh, never mind. We got someone already. Oh, no, that's Falindrith. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, everyone, huge thanks if you're watching in chat. Falindrith was your observer this evening. As always, doing a fantastic job keeping you in the action and keeping us casters with our heads in the game, making it just that much easier for us. Really appreciate you, Falindrith.
No problem, guys.
Bless you for existing here in this match tonight. Excellent job.
Sorry, as you were saying?
Yeah, just thinking about now, Heroes of the United States going into their finals now, showing whoever their opponents might be how potentially deadly that Tracer can be. So likely going to see that be a high priority ban coming out from their opponents next match.
Yeah, so looking at the bracket, they will face the winner of Gilly Shark and Reapsville Gazette. As joining us now are 2 members of Heroes of the United States. We have Blaze and Watson. Gents, how does it feel right now? How are you guys feeling moving into these divisional finals?
It feels really good. Like, we literally spent, I'd say we've been talking back and forth on Discord about like different drafts and whatnot, like since like 6:30 in the morning. So I'm really happy that, you know, we're able to keep going.
Game number 1, we saw a Tracer banned away, and we're sitting there, Team the Spider Queen, thinking, why is this Tracer banned out? But game number 2, Blaze, you showed exactly why they didn't want to play against that Tracer in game number 1. But game number 1, we did see a Zeratul. So 2 heroes here tonight that are very dependent on getting those kills. You made it happen. And how does this theory fit into your team dynamic? Are you just really the go-to get those kills guys with the Tracer, Zeratul, other type finisher heroes?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we've been finding out, is that it seems that we're often, if we don't take something that can act as like that closer, then it just doesn't seem to fit as well for our play style. So yeah, lately I've been kind of filling that role for the one that needs to go and make sure those kills are happening. So, but it never would happen.
It was about 6:30 this morning that I sent him a text basically and said, "Hey, you played Zeratul lately?" And his response was just I mean, I haven't played him since the patch. We'll see.
However many months ago that
was. Speaking of a hero, a Nubarak, recently reworked as recent as yesterday. With all those changes that happened in terms of the armor. Watson, I've come to realize you are a Nubarak fan. How does the new kit feel, and kind of your thoughts on the new dynamic that was built by the Blizzard developers?
He might be broken.
It broken good?
Way?
Yeah, like they took a hero that had little health and said, well, okay, we'll give you health. And by the way, you'll keep your spell shield. It just happens it's based on ability.
Detected.
And so I'm not sure if he's broken, but I'm pretty sure he's a lot better than he was. Like, it's one of the few changes from an armor standpoint that he, in my mind, got a true buff.
Okay.
And, you know, I mean, I've tried Johanna. We tried Johanna in scrims. It was miserable. We tried Arthas in scrims. It was miserable. Nubrak feels just as strong as he was, but healthier, which is fantastic.
Well, that is good to know. And if you're watching in Twitch chat, give that Nubrak a try. But before we leave, kind of talking about game number 1 and like the full essence of what was really the more exciting of the 2 games this evening, because it was so close, 26 minutes. A few opportunities you guys gave away, a few opportunities they gave away, and really it was back and forth. But what did you guys do to maintain composure after they were able to get that boss, find those kills, and take a lead? I think it was 17-16 in levels. But it seemed like they were about to really start moving in the other direction, but you guys stopped them right in their tracks. What was going through the minds of Heroes of the United States during those moments?
Let's not lose the game.
Yeah.
As soon as we lost Malfurion, and it's just kind of a mishap, a fight where we should have just disengaged right away. We didn't quite disengage. We're calling for the VP to disengage, and there was just never an opportunity for it. And so as soon as we lost, I believe it was Malfurion and Jaina, it was okay, well, what can we do? Well, if we don't all die, we still have a chance. So it's just don't die. Void Prison will be up. Let's see what we can get. And, we played it safe. The one thing that I think our opponent could have done is potentially pushed to our core. And we were kind of surprised they didn't. They got the keep easily and then seemed to kind of walk backwards. And so that was, I wouldn't say it was a mistake on their part. Their siege damage wasn't necessarily that high, but it was a risk that it was either high risk, high reward. And since they left that open for us, it big sigh of relief for us. It was okay.
Yes.
They didn't end the game.
They gave us that opportunity to get recollected, reset, and turn it back around again. So it was an emotional roller coaster for me. We were just trying to keep everybody calm and just wait for our ults to come back up and just try again, and with those wombos.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that wombo, that really was the bread and butter of you guys winning the match.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
like,
it really
I can't stress how beautiful when you all landed it. Like, it was gorgeous. Like, how long have you been practicing that combo specifically before today?
You're gonna laugh.
Today.
We did one practice, literally one practice, and I should have streamed it because you guys would have laughed your butts off the entire time, because it was like I was mistiming them so poorly. Out of like 6, I think I landed 2. So,
oh man. Well, I mean, I think you guys must have thrown out about 10 in that game. It was a long game, and there was only one that didn't fully connect. The Void Prison wasn't canceled soon enough on the Ring of Frost, but I mean, overall, that 90%, that's pretty good.
Yep. No, on that one that I missed. In my defense, I did get stunned, so
Okay.
that was why that happened. But
Okay.
I will still take that percentage. I
Fair
will
enough.
still take that.
CatPeach, anything else you want to add on game number 1 there?
I don't. I think you've said anything. It was an exciting match for sure, extremely explosive, and I hope to see that combination come out again for you all, because I think it worked out super well. But understand if you're going to retire it after this evening. But it was a pleasure for us to get to witness for sure.
It was fun to play it. Like I tell you what, the first time we connected all the dots and it worked exactly as we planned it would. Everybody was pretty happy. So, like I said, it might not. I don't know. It kind of depends on who we're playing against and their play styles, and we'll just try to do our research and prepare for next week.
Game number 2, not too much to talk about. I think very smart drafting, picking up that Lunara when you saw they had the Uther. I was talking about it during draft here on the stream, and seeing Andrew pick up Lunara I think was just the perfect pick, and it forced them into a Lili, a double support comp with a double cleanse actually. Was this just overpoweredness for you guys? Like, they're really like, what was stopping you? Nothing here, I guess, but
Yep. Sadly, I think they knew once they already picked the Uther that he was gonna struggle with that Lunara, and I knew that they were gonna have to take something else to help just mitigate that damage. Just sadly, I don't think the Lili was gonna be the choice to make that difference for him. So, but yeah, I know we felt really strong coming into that draft, and and it worked out exactly as we thought it would. So we kind of had a feeling, we weren't positive, but we had a feeling that they were going to go for their Varian Tyrande blow-up comp, because we've seen it before, we played it before, and we wanted to make sure that we didn't let that happen. So we got rid of the Tyrande, and the rest of it kind of fell right into place where we wanted it to.
Yeah, absolutely. CatPeach, I know we were talking about the Tracer earlier, but what an exciting game. The Tracer, Blaze, you did such a great job playing that. 9 kills, of course. And Lunara leading the way in siege and hero damage. Just unstoppable. 18-0 for kills for you guys there. Is this a map you guys even like? I know it was a pick there by the One Tricks, but you guys made it seem like it was your home field.
We are undefeated on the map, but we've never picked it. Well, no, I don't believe we've ever picked it ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think we ever picked it.
Interesting.
So yeah, we've played. It's been, I think, three games on that map. Won them all. It's just one of those maps where if our team fight is a little bit stronger than yours, we're probably going to win it. And I feel like getting the ETC in the new rack was a gift, just because there's so much punishment. If Varian comes in, I mean, sure, you're there, but we're going to stun whatever damage tries to follow you.
Absolutely. CatPeach, anything you want to add?
You know, I don't. I'm just super impressed. Congratulations, GG's, and I can't wait to see what crazy combinations you come up with the day of your next game going forward through this division.
And that next game will be the winner of Gilly Shark and the Reapsville Gazette. What are your thoughts on these two teams for next week? Is there one you'd rather face, one that you're more scared of? What do you guys feel about the upcoming division finals?
We've been scrimming Reapsville. Or no, actually, I take it back.
I would say that's Gilly. We've actually
Shark.
been scrimming Gilly.
We tried to scrim Reapsville.
We tried to.
So I take it back. So yeah, we've been scrimming Gilly Shark. So I don't know. Good luck to both of those teams. Either one, I think, would be a good matchup. Our only loss this season was to Gilly Sharks in the first week. So it'd be nice, a little revenge to try and go up against them in a best of 5, but we'll take either side.
Yeah, looking for redemption, perhaps.
Yeah.
So we'll see whoever we get next week, but I think either way it'll be an awesome matchup. So I'm looking forward to it.
I am excited for that match, as well as all of the division finals here in NGS. There's going to be 9 of them. Actually 8 if you discount the Heroic Division, who will have their grand finals the same days as the rest of the divisions. But what a huge week coming up for so many teams, and very excited to have you guys, Heroes of the United States, participate in those Division B East finals. Before I let you go, I want to give you guys the opportunity to give some shout outs. So Blaze and Watson, the floor is yours.
I'll let you go ahead, Blaze.
This is the part of the interview I'm always terrible at. Of course, I want to say I just want to give a shout out to my wife, Lindsay. She's my muse. She supports me, carries me, and I love her. So thank you.
Adorable.
Aww.
Shout
Follow
out to
that
our
up,
team.
Watson.
Good job, team.
There, I bared you. Don't dig yourself out.
But yeah, no, I just for me, just shout out to the team showing up today. It was big. I'm glad we were able to get the 2-0, and looking forward to next week.
Everything that happened was because of all 5 members. So I really think everybody did a wonderful job tonight.
A very outstanding job. 2-0. Here's the United States moving on to the Division B East Finals. CatPeach, I want to say a huge thank you to you for joining me tonight. Had a really great time. First time we got to do this, and glad to see it finally happened.
I know, and we had such an exciting set of games to cast, so that's extra exciting. I did realize, so I'm actually casting Gilly Shark versus Reapersville this Sunday, so if Gilly Shark ends up taking it, I'll make sure to give them the message that they're looking for a little revenge, so that'll be spicy for sure. But no, yeah, I'm so glad we got to cast Berta. It's been a long time in the making, and I hope we get to do it again come next season.
Yeah, I actually was looking at the schedule. Saw you're paired up with Bahamut over at twitch.tv/Bahamut Gaming on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. It's Gilly Shark versus the Reapsville Gazette, as mentioned. And then later on, CatPeach, you're hopping on another stream with Mongoose over at twitch.tv/Mongoose_22. It's going to be Team Showboat versus Team Obscured at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. You got a full docket on Sunday.
Full docket of Division B. I'm gonna know everything going into the finals going up soon. So get a nice swath of I thought I casted Division B last week, but it doesn't look like I did. But excited to see how those games compare here and to kind of size up what the competition might be looking forward into the rest of the playoffs. So should be exciting for sure.
Absolutely. Let these guys know where they can find you. Twitch, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, so I am CatPeachGG on both Twitch and Twitter. Not base CatPeach, that is someone very different, don't follow them. But yeah, so casting for NGS, I was actually surprise casted for Bush League earlier this week, but also streaming Heroes, doing random stuff. So if you like that, if you like pictures of hedgehogs, I also tweet a lot of those because I own one. So if that's your thing, that's where you find me. And yeah, come say hi.
That's awesome. Huge thank you again to you. Huge thanks to Falindrith, our producer and observer this evening. And big thanks to Watson and Blaze for joining us for the interview. Congratulations again to Heroes of the United States. They have advanced with a 2-0 victory tonight over the One Tricks. They will be your first representative in the Division B East Finals. That's all for tonight, folks. Thank you so much for stopping in. And until next time, you guys be good. We'll see you.